Hi there, welcome back to the channel for another vlog. So today I am going to give my ownership experience of the Honda Hornet 2.0. That's the bike sitting right behind me. So my brother actually got this bike for like around 10 days and I have been riding, he's been riding, and I want to share my ownership experience with you guys. Like is it worth it to buy the 2.0 in 2021, how it feels to ride, and what are its pros and cons, like every sort of thing that I have experienced. I would like to share it with you, and also its pricing and all in Sibsagar, Assam. I am from Sibsagar, Assam, so I'll be sharing the on-road price here. So without any further delay, let's get started, and along the way I will also do a ride on this bike and tell you how it feels. So let's get started. So here is the key, and with the chain where the dealership name is written. I got it, my brother got the bike from Nazira Honda dealership, Musten Honda. I will put the details of the dealership in the links in description below. So here is the bike. Let me first start with the walk around of the bike. So from the front it looks really very premium, trust me on that. In terms of looks, if you get this motorcycle in 2021, it's one of the best looking bike in the 200 or 160 to 200 cc segment, one of the best looking naked sports bike, and the credit goes to the front gold anodized Showa forks, upside down forks, and it's the only motorcycle in this segment that gets upside down forks. From the front, all LED lights. Actually this bike gets all LED treatment, so good job from Honda, I have to say that. Like the indicators, everything, headlights, rear tail light, I'll be coming to that. Then the rear indicators, every light in this motorcycle is LED, so that's one of the pros in this bike. Also the light throw of this headlight is good, no issue or such. Even I have ridden this once in rain at night, so no issue of visibility. It does a decent job. Then coming to the front tire, it's a 17-inch MRF tire and the size is 110 70 17, and there is the pedal disc at front. Stopping power is great, the front brakes are great, comes with single channel ABS, and these brake calipers are from Nissin, 2-piston brake calipers. The forks, Honda has not specified the size of the forks, but I think it's around 41 mm forks, upside down Showa forks. Here you can see it's written Showa. And in terms of looks, it looks amazing. Just look at those gold anodized forks, upside down forks. Even the KTMs don't get gold anodized fork. And from the front, if you get the bike in black color, then it feels like the BMW G310 is coming, so it looks super premium in this price range. Then coming to this side, that's the naked street fight type look. There are different types of materials used, and it's a matte red and black combination color, so this panel is different. The tank here, some part is like carbon fiber texture. It's not carbon fiber, you won't get something like that, so that's there. Then the mirrors, not that great but does a decent job. Let me just take out the key and show you the instrument cluster now. It's all digital instrument cluster. There does the swipe up thing, so it's a negative LCD display. Hope the camera is doing a good job, but trust me, it's a very great unit from Honda, and you can like it's visible under very bright sunny day because of the negative LCD display. It's superb. And there is the gear position indicator, then the fuel meter, then trip A, trip B, 2 trip meters, then battery voltage is also shown here, then service indicator, time, everything. The red line is up to 9000 rpm. I'll be coming to the engine in a bit. Then the switch gears, these are great in this price point. Like it feels really very good, premium. Honda could have done more, but hey, come on, it's Honda, so don't expect much. The switch gear are good. Here is the engine kill switch. There goes the fuel injection. Then this is the headed light switch. Then here is the electric starter or the self starter. Then here is the horn, loud enough, but it could have been more loud. Then here is the turn light. Then there's also the pass switch. So everything is there that you need. Coming to the sides, it's look great. Here are the tank shrouds extend up to the forks, so it really gives it a very muscular look. Then down there is the engine crown or guard, whatever you said. It's made of fiber. It gives a great look to the motorcycle. Then this side, the foot pegs, the rider foot peg has rubber grip and the pillion foot peg is of metal, so nice job on that. Then let me show you the rear. Here are the X-shape rear tail lights. It looks super awesome at night. And then these are the LED turn lights, all LED. I'll show in a minute like switching it on. Then here is the light for the license plate. This is also white light LED, looks great. Also the grab rails are very great. These are made of metal, solid grab rails, so for the pillion riders will have great support. Then the rear wheel, coming to the rear wheel, it's a 140 section tire, 140 70 17 inch MRF tire. In some bikes it may come different, but we got it MRF. Then here is the rear disc brake. I think it's around 270 mm disc brake. The front is around 320 or more, something like that. And rear is a single piston Nissin caliper. Gets single piston Nissin caliper at the rear. Then here is the box type swing arm. The rear brakes are decent. I won't say it's great. There is no ABS in the rear. Then here is the short exhaust. It sounds good. The engine sounds really good. I'll be turning on the key and then turn on the engine to give you the exhaust note of this bike. Then again the brake lever is of metal. Then here is the engine, Honda Hornet written here, 2.0. Also I forgot to show in the other side, 2.0 written in that side. Then Honda EcoTech BS6 written there. Then there is the Honda emblem. It looks very premium, like it's of great quality. There are little bit of panel gaps, so I could say that's a con. Like here you can see the fit and finish is decent. I won't say great, it's decent. Now again turn on the key and show you the lights in this bike, the all LED lights. So just turn on the hazard light. So the hazard lights are turned on, so here you can see. Also so here are the hazard lights. Then also at the rear. So in terms of looks, Honda has done a great work, and with the lighting, great job. Then here are the position lights. Let me just turn off the key for a second. Here you can see this acts as an LDRL, but when the bike is turned on, or I mean the engine is started, then the lower beam turns on, so this doesn't is much visible, or the lower beam of the headlight just takes all the show. Now coming to the seats, these seats are like hard, and now the Honda Hornet 2.0 comes with a split seat setup. The seat height is low for the rider, so this bike is great for short riders. I myself is not that tall, and it's very great for maneuvering. And also the bike is very light. It's around 142 kilos. So in terms of maneuverability, it's a very great bike, lightweight, nimble. The handling is awesome because of the wheels and the suspension setup. Let me say, my god, it's very stiff, very stiff. I feel this is stiffer than the RC390 or the KTM RC bikes. And here are some of the clips of me riding the suspension work, you can see it's very stiff, and for riding around the corners it's superb. But in bad roads, oh my god, you don't want it to ride for too long in bad roads like potholes. The front suspension can does decent job, but in the rear suspension is like the jolts you can feel through your spine or the back. And now coming to the seats, is a got split seat setup, so these seats are hard, so good for long riding. Yeah, you have to know that, because softer seats are good for shorter rides and harder seats are good for longer rides. Like, if you want to check it out, go check other videos in YouTube. You will get to know about the seat setup. It's not me, experts say that. So for longer rides I think it will be great, but not for the pillion seat is really short, like for big guys. But for shorter riders or some small kid, it will be good. But this seat is very comfortable. I feel very comfortable personally. I felt it comfortable, like the seat is narrow, you reach both your feet even if you are short. I am not that tall, I am around, my height is around 5'5", so these seats are good. Now coming to the engine, this is a new engine, you can say, in the sense that it's fuel injected BS6, but it's the same unit from the Honda Hornet 160R. It had been bored out and now it's a 184.4cc unit. So people confuse it for the 2.0 marking as the engine is a 200cc engine, but no, it's not a 200cc engine. It's a very simple air cooled single cylinder 184.4cc single overhead cam single spark engine, obviously fuel injected, BS6 compliant. Here is the catalytic converter, you can see. Also here somewhere here there is the oxygen sensor. So it's a BS6 compliant engine, and it gets 5-speed gearbox, which is very slick. The engine produces around 17.1 horsepower and 16.1 Newton meters of torque. And this engine Honda has tuned in such a way that it is good for low end grunt. Like, I have pulled this bike from 25 kilometers per hour in the 4th gear, so low end torque delivery is awesome. So this bike, I would say, it's a very odd bike, because the suspension setup and the whole chassis tuned in such a way that it's made for harsh riding, but the engine won't allow it. It revs up to 9000 rpm. The red line here, let me show you. The red line here is around 9000 rpm, and it doesn't go above that, but the sweet spot is around 5 to 8000 rpm. Above that the bike feels jittery and you can feel the vibration in foot pegs, handlebars, everywhere. But in that range, like around 90 kilometers per hour, you can do long whole day ride. This doesn't feel stressed, the bike doesn't feel stressed. And also in terms of heating issues, I haven't felt any heating issues with this bike. Yes, it's a air cooled engine, so you feel, and it's a naked bike, and you feel little bit of heat around your legs while riding in towns, but out on the highways or freeway you don't feel any of such heating issues. So you don't have to worry about like the bikes that comes in the competition comes with a oil cooling, liquid cooling, whatsoever. You don't have to think about that. It's a very simple bike. Just put on the fuel, do servicing at time, and it will keep you happy. This bike is gonna keep you happy. So there's another pro in this bike, very simple and easy to ride bike. Now let me turn on the key and show you how the bike sounds. So here it is. It has a very bassy kind of exhaust note. Honda has done a great work in the exhaust note. So let me rev it a bit. And here it is. It goes, the revs goes up to 9000 rpm. Let me just turn off the key. So that's it. That's the walk around and few things about the bike. So the Also, there's a issue with the engine that I have seen in with some of the videos out on the YouTube itself, that there's leakage issue with the engine, like from the filler cap, also from the gear position indicator, the sensor, there are leakage issues. So I contact with the dealership, and they said that it's not with all the bikes, but in some bikes, if you have bad luck, you're gonna get that, but Honda dealership will do it for free, and it comes under warranty. And even if you buy this bike and there are leakage issues with the engine, they are gonna fix it, and you won't have any problem as such, as they have said. So honestly, I'm giving the opinion of this bike that if there is leakage issue or not. I have got once from the filler cap, and when I went to the service center, they told that the filler cap needs to be tightened a little bit, and after he did that, there is no leakage issue as such. Now coming to the pricing of the motorcycle, the Honda Hornet 2.0 costed us around 1,55,000 on road in Nazira, Sibsagar. So anyone who wants to get his or her hand on this motorcycle, contact your nearest dealership to know the pricing of the bike. Actually, the price varies with states and districts, so and make your inquiry and get to know the pricing. So that's the walk around and everything I had to say about this motorcycle. Now let me put on the camera to my helmet and give you a ride experience, like how it feels, how the engine pulls. So let me just put on my helmet and see you while I am riding out the bike. So now let's go for a ride, and then I will tell you the riding experience of the Honda Hornet 2.0. So let's get started. So the initial torque delivery of this bike is awesome. Like, I have changed to second gear and barely twisting the throttle, and the bike is like pulling so effortlessly. And here comes the bad patch. I have to say, the suspension, like I've said before, is very stiff, and it feels stiffer than the RC390. So out on the bad patches like this, you're gonna feel every single jolt to your handlebars and also the back. The front suspension, the upside down forks, does a decent job, but the rear suspension is like stiff, but it's good for on-road condition. And these small rocks and pebbles, you won't feel much. The seat is stiffer or hard, and for me, I like hard seats because I have a Vespa and it also has a hard seat, and I've ridden Vespa for on a longer rides. I've ridden for longer rides, so I think the hard seats are good for long rides. Now let me just and this gearbox, it's awesome. It's like really very slick. You can feel the click, like while upshifting, downshifting, like it gives you a clicky feeling. Shifting, of course, there is the gear position indicator in the instrument console. You get to know in which gear you are, but the gear feels very clicky while upshifting, and it feels slick. I like the gearbox in this bike. It's one of the USP of the Honda Hornet 2.0. Now the torque delivery, see, I am like pulling the bike from third gear at around 20 to 19 kilometers per hour, and even if I put it in fourth gear, the bike will continue to pull. So that's how effortless this bike is. Like for city driving or city riding in traffic conditions, it's a very great bike, and the sitting position is also upward. The mirror does decent job. I won't say it's great, not very wide field of view, but it does decent job. So let's now push the bike a bit. Even though the engine is a single cylinder, single overhead and dual valve engine, the way it is tuned, it pulls very effortlessly, and 60 to 70 kilometers per hour you reach it very nicely. I haven't done the 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 on this because my camera GPS is not working at the moment, or I would have shown you, but once I update the firmware of the camera, then I am going to show you. So under on-road conditions, the bike is very nimble, like you can like easily change the direction. Also the wheelbase is little bit longer, so the changing of the direction is, it takes a bit time, but as you ride it will be very good. But out on the corners, due to the suspension work, it's very great, it's like awesome. Also the braking, the front brake with the ABS works great. I don't have any issue as such to tell about the front brake, but the rear brake are not that intuitive. The bite comes very late, so you have to press a bit harder on the rear brakes. Also it doesn't have ABS, so you have to keep that in mind while braking hard on the rear brakes out on like wet surface or in gravel area or something like that. So, but the front brake with the ABS, you don't have to think much and just apply the brake, and it's going to do a great job stopping this bike. Coming to the mileage of this engine, I have barely done 440 kilometers and not even done the first servicing of this bike. So but still I am getting around 48, and the service center has told me that after first service I am going to get around 55 kilometers per liter, and it's a Honda, so I think I may get that much of mileage. And I've seen other owners or in YouTube, like people are saying that this bike's average economy is around, if you ride decently, it gives around 50 km per liter, and after being a 184cc motorcycle, that's a really great return per liter. I forgot to mention about the tank. This tank holds 12 liters of fuel. Let me just turn the bike and I will show you the turning radius, how easy maneuverable this bike is. Put on the indicator, no traffic. So yeah, in terms of looks, this bike is Honda Hornet 2.0 is going to grab attention. I have to say that because of the front suspension and the body work. So here you can see the torque delivery is awesome in this bike. So lower end around 5,000, you don't feel any vibration. 5 to 6,000 RPM, like you can push it. Even the sweet spot is from, like, look, I'm in such a slope, and even in 4th gears the bike is able to pull from 25 kilometers per hour. So that's how easy riding motorcycle this is. Like this type of bumps you will feel because of the suspension. Yeah, the road presence is awesome of this bike, and when it comes from the front, it feels like the BMW G310 is coming because of the gold anodized suspension. So top notch on that. But the pricing of this bike is a bit high, I have to say that. So around the corner, this bike is very stable. Like, look at this. Like, if you are a very experienced rider, then this bike will help you scrape your knees around corners. So that stable this bike is because of this suspension setup. So let's do some high speed riding. It's very stable. It's a very stable bike because of the chassis and the suspension. The chassis is a diamond down tube frame chassis, and the suspensions I have already told you. So are front and rear suspensions. So braking also got tested now. ABS does a great job, but even it's just a single channel ABS. Also, the exhaust note of this bike is awesome. Like, I really love the grunt. So the on-road riding also done. So coming to the end of this video, I think I have explained every single thing about the Honda Hornet 2.0. Is it worth it to buy it? 2021, you decide that. I am not going to say anything about it, but according to me, it's a bit pricier compared to other rivals in the market. I won't say about any rivals, you people know that very well, but if you want something unique, something easy to ride, if you are a short rider, then I would recommend to go for this bike. It's a bit pricier, but the service cost and all will be very low because it's a very simple air cooled, it got a very simple air cooled motor, so no need for any engine coolant or as such thing. So I think I have explained everything and given my ownership review of the Honda Hornet 2.0. and if you like the video, don't forget to press that like button. Also subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so that you get notified every single time I upload a new video to this channel. So stay tuned for the next video. Bye.